Hello, people of the internet. Welcome, members of the Peter Griffin household. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. It's oncoming. I don't know how many days away it is by the time recording this. It's about 11 or so days away. So, let's get this Christmas spectacular started. This December, I'm going to be uploading a plethora of fun videos. I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy them. Might be one Thomas movie review, but one? That's all you get? And you're probably also wondering, why am I not on my couch? Did I get fucking robbed? But in all seriousness, I think that this is a really fun change of scenery. I'm next to my Christmas tree and this penguin. You see, I promise I'm not holding him against his will. He wants to be here. And to kick off the Troublesome Junction Winter Spectacular, I think it'd be a fun little throwback to review these. Now, this is something that people probably more in my age range grew up with. I don't know about a lot of younger viewers, because I know I do have a couple of, little youngins on here. What y'all doing on here? Go to bed. But when I was in around 5th grade, these sets started hitting the scenes. I believe they were made by Jazwares. And the thing about these that makes them so interesting is the fact that by the time that these came out, I don't think that there were the traditional plastic Minecraft toys that were out. These came out maybe a couple months before actual Minecraft stuff came out. There was a couple of little stylized things, but actual things that look like they replicated the game, also made by Jazwares, did come later. But for that little span of time, these were the hot item. These are Papercraft Minecraft toys, which is a little weird to say because cardboard toys, I would say, are insanely controversial. Yes, they're environmentally friendly, but it also begs the question of, do they have the practicality of a toy? As in, hold up and last a long time. And even when I was a kid and I'd go into the shops trying to find these, that was one of my biggest concerns with these things was, they are just fucking paper. So what if they were to fall apart or Steve were to break? I mean, I was literally sitting here pondering this because I was like, imagine how many kids bought these sets just wanting to have some Minecraft toys since there weren't the plastic ones at the time. There are probably countless, versions of these sets ripped up, Steve's missing heads, blocks are completely unfolded and unfurled. There's probably some really mangled up sets like these. Now, one of the reasons why I think it'd be a fun little throwback is, one, I do like nostalgic things and talking about very obscure kind of items, but two, one thing about me is it is winter break as of the time of recording this. And one thing I like to do every year is I like to have some kind of indoor project to do each year. Typically, it is model trains, but since I'm in college, I decided to pack up my model train stuff, and I was kind of left wondering, well, if I can't do model trains this year, what could I do? I thought about doing Lego model trains, which is what I currently have set up in my room. But then I started thinking about alternatives, and I decided on two things. One of them is to make a Mario 64 display, like a little diorama type thing, which is emphasis on why my last video exists. And then a Papercraft Minecraft display. This is perfect. I really got into this idea because of, there is a YouTuber who goes by the name, I believe it's KamiCH, or KamiCH, I'm not entirely sure, I will put it on screen. Their videos are insanely cool of making these custom Minecraft, dioramas and setups made entirely of paper. And then one of my close friends, his name is Connor, he goes by the name of Man with a Trench Coat, absolute G. Be sure to follow him and subscribe to his channel. But one thing Connor likes to do is make figurines out of paper. Honestly, guy is really good at what he does. He should post more of his work. Connor, if you're watching this, you're an absolute G, man. But those two things combined, and plus the feeling of nostalgia for the fact that I grew up with these things, they're so close to my heart, I decided that it'd be a fun project and most importantly, a very fun video. Now, I've been rambling long enough. I think I got the gist out of the way. Let's open this thing and see what really these guys are about. I don't think anyone would be too offended if I just ripped the top of the box off, because I mean, this thing's in insanely rough shape. I believe these things are probably up near 10 years old or something like that. It's so crazy to think about. Okay, so in here, well, the listing that I got came with two sets. This is the Redstone set, which is one that I already do own. But I really like this set, and I will get more into those things a little bit later. And then this set is, of course, the Overworld set. So it's going to be a big hodgepodge of parts from the two of those. If I look in here, they actually do have the tiny cardboard wheels. These things, I remember seeing a YouTube video on it. I believe it was Toy Reviews TV, I think their YouTube channel is. They did a review on the sets of these, and that was one of the things that they had shown was this little minecart. And me, I used to have a very big obsession with like Indiana Jones and minecart adventure type things like Donkey Kong Country, Indiana Jones. Like the Temple of Doom Lego set was one of my highlight things I've ever had. I know it's such a weird thing to be obsessed with, but minecart adventures and like action-y kind of things that took place underground was a very big thing for me. So of course when Minecraft was like, hey, we're making minecarts, I was like, nigga, what? So right here we do have some things. This is the head of a sticky piston. As you can see kind of right here, they are basically foldable paper crafts. I do have some things already pre-folded. Like right here you have a furnace block. These are not just like traditional printer paper type of things. They are a very thick kind of paper. And if you see here when they are completed and everything, here's a sheep, I guess, poor thing. They are already punched out, so you won't have trouble. There's no scissors involved. You just punch them out of the sprues here and then you fold them up. I would say that these things, they're not like thick, you know, paper cardboard boxes, but they are definitely like denser than construction paper or printer paper type of things. It's kind of that mesh of between the two of cardboard and paper. It's really good stuff. Like these things seriously surprise me, even looking back on them to this day of like, wow, these things, yeah, I mean, of course, if a child were to throw it or step on it, it's gonna break. But these things are actually surprisingly sturdy. It's crazy. Now, if we take a look at this box, though, you can see here, this set in particular comes with 90 pieces, and the main theme is an overworld kind of thing. You know, you got your trees, cobblestone, dirt, you know, got a spooky creeper. Oh, no, look, creeper. Oh, man. And as you see on the back here, there are 7 different play sets. Unfortunately, I don't think that they made anything else outside of these 7, which on one hand, I get it because they were being overshadowed by the actual plastic Minecraft figurines. But then simultaneously, it's just like, it's fucking paper. You guys can still make more of these. Yes, as a kid, it didn't make as much sense to me as it does now. But since I'm not a kid who's slamming and throwing his figures around like a madman, you know, as a toy collector, these things are going to look so cool on my shelf. The next one that I am trying to track down is actually the shelter kit. I really do need the door, the bricks, and the glass pieces because, as I said, I am making a giant paper Minecraft display, and those would be insanely handy to have. So let's see what kind of gubbins we have. Of course, I'm not going to cover every single thing. This is more or less just a retrospective rather than a review. So the playsets did come with this kind of like tape. I guess it's just sort of like hold the blocks in place if you really need that extra security. One of them is dirt patterned, as you can see right there, but then one of them is cobblestone. Look at that right there. And I really don't think I'm gonna ever use this. I might, maybe I can think of something cool. And of course the play sets, you know, these are for the kiddies. They do come with instruction booklets, which are really nice, really handy, especially for the minecart. I have seen videos of people trying to assemble these things and them having a really hard time doing so. Strangely enough, these sets come with a sticker sheet of flowers, which I don't think I'm gonna use these on the sets. They are laminated though. If you can see like the reflectiveness here, they aren't just like cheap little dollar store stickers. No, these are laminated stickers. They are really nice. They got the nice little vinyl coating. That is really cool. I will admit that. Maybe I could think of something cool to kind of do with them. Maybe I could cut them out and interlock them or something like that to make actual Minecraft flowers in 3D. As shown before, we have the sheep, another sheep. We have a cow here, which most of the things are already punched out, which I don't know if they're lost or not, but who cares? It's just a cow. A shitload of block paper. Like, this set did say it came with over 90 pieces, and I believe the redstone one is 48 pieces. Actually, I do have the box right here. Yes, it is 48 pieces. So yeah, we have a good chunk of blocks. Each sheet comes with like 2 blocks per sprue. So there's one right there and then one up here. As you can see there, punch them out, fold them up, boom, you got some Minecraft blocks. Really nifty little thing though. So we have cobblestone, dirt blocks, farming dirt blocks, iron blocks, leaf blocks, and logs. And look right here, we do have Diamond Armor Steve. Now, each of these sets does come with a figure of some sort. I think all besides the one that has the enchantment table or whatever. They do come with Steve. This one comes with the Diamond Armor one. There's also one with an Iron Armor that comes in the Redstone set. And then there's a traditional Steve that comes in the Survival Mode set, and a couple of others. One of the things I do really like about the Redstone set is the minecart tracks themselves. This is what I did want the most, and the reason why I did get so many of these, to tag them with the one that I already had, of course. You can take the minecart tracks and interlock them together like they're basically very thin puzzle pieces, though it's not something I would 100% rely on. You know, maybe stick these down to a surface, or even if you want to, you can take some popsicle sticks to reinforce them. And then we have another sticker sheet that has some fire, some apples, bread, and a torch. And I do believe that's all the gubbins that came out of the box. Unfortunately, I didn't see the minecart, so I guess these wheels and, you know, these are actually like lollipop sticks. If you guys, you guys know the little cardboards, these are actually those. These are basically useless, unfortunately, but I do have another minecart. This is the Jazwares one. I am trying to get the one Mattel Minecraft set, the Minecart Mayhem one. Just kind of been putting it off for a while, but yeah, I do have another minecart, so I guess it's really not that big of a deal. So I guess the big thing to do now here is fold them all up. I would do a time lapse, but I think that would just take a very long time. And especially to fast forward everything, it's gonna be a very long time to fold all of this together. So, back in a flash. So I started working on these things at around 11 o'clock. It is now almost 4 in the morning. The things I do for fucking content. So this right here is a lot of the blocks that are just kind of on the table right now. I'm not able to get all of them. Here at the side, we do have some iron blocks and then some redstone blocks. And then of course you actually have the piston. And then there's also the pistons, but I'm doing something a little special with those. They actually do function, as in you fold up this little tinier piece here. You can insert the shaft piece in here and then attach the head to it. God, that sounds sexual. And once you attach this, you can slide it back and forth. But the thing I'm doing with this is I'm actually going through and reinforcing it with styrofoam. That piston block holds a very special place in my heart because it was actually one of the biggest reasons why I wanted this line in the first place. I'll get into that a little bit later. But this is what you basically get from pretty much one set. This is a lot to take in, and it sure as hell took a very long time to put together. Now, of course, the rails down there and a couple other things are from the Redstone set too, so this is just kind of a little combination of the two, I guess you could say. But the thing that I really do like about this is, yes, it takes a long time to do, but it looks really cool. Look at this little diorama here. I love the matte finish of the blocks. It just looks really good, especially on the camera. One thing I think that would really benefit is that once you get the blocks where you really want them, you might be better off just gluing them all into place. I mean, if you want to interchange them and everything, I get maybe you don't want to do that. Now, the big set, of course, it is missing a couple gubbins. It's missing the creeper. It's missing the smaller trees. And I think it's missing, so it's supposed to have a big chest or something like that. But it is just paper in a sense. I'm not too pressed about that. And the figures themselves, yes, they are nice. I am going to be replacing them in my display with the Minecraft Survival Mode figures. These are the 5-inch Minecraft figures that Mattel used to make a couple years ago. They have since replaced them, unfortunately, with smaller 3-inch figures that cost the same damn price as these ones, which really does kind of suck. So the survival mode figures are a tiny bit taller than the Papercraft figures, but I do think that they scale really well with the giant ass blocks. I just think once you put everything together, it all really looks astonishing. It's genuinely crazy of just how well everything goes together. One thing that I thought was insanely satisfying was when I was making each of the blocks and you'd pop them out and you'd fold them, popping in those little cardboard tabs was such a satisfying thing. They're not cheap little tabs. There is no glue required for these things. You just pop them in and they do hold and lock in place. I could throw this around, throw it at the camera if I want to, and it's still fine. Like, it's not a cheap little thing like how I thought they were when I was a kid. These things surprised me back then, and they still surprise me now. It's genuinely crazy of how awesome these things can get. I am going to go through and buy a couple other things. I really need at least 2 of the survival mode pack, as I had mentioned earlier, because I need the door, the glass pieces, and some of the bricks, because I do want to make a house for the figures and everything. But it's just so cool of how everything comes together, as you can see here. Everything has a nice, decent size. I have very big hands, you know, so like it is really cool seeing how everything does come together. Steve himself, like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend heavily playing with him, but for a little cardboard figure like this, it really does hold up very well. Now, if you were to ever store these things away, I would recommend getting a very big cardboard box and putting all the blocks in there. Do not intermingle these with heavier plastic pieces. They will get crushed. There is no doubt in my mind about that. But these things just on their own, they are really freaking cool. One thing that I've been craving from Minecraft sets is something similar to this, where you can take actual blocks, stack them, move them around. And I'm sorry, but Lego doesn't count. I have so much Lego Minecraft stuff because I genuinely do love that line, but I do not think it captures that essence of Minecraft. It literally just feels like you're building with Legos, not a cobblestone brick or wood logs. They don't look like how they do in the game, of course. Now, there have been attempts to do this by Mattel. As I mentioned before, the survival mode figures, there are the Minecraft survival mode playsets. You know, you have the desert outpost, you have the snow themed one, and then you have the kind of overworld themed one. My biggest problem with those is that all of the pieces are not symmetrical. Like, they are all these weird mountainous natural rock looking pieces, so when you put them together, they even advertise on the box that the whole gimmick is like, oh, 50 different combinations to put the blocks. Yeah, but here's the problem. You can't make anything interesting with the blocks unless you're trying to make some kind of mine shaft or earthy themed location. If you want to do what Minecraft does best, take your figures, build a little house and stuff like that, you can't even do that. These pieces just look like you just took a bunch of random blocks and threw them together. It's like if I handed my 4-year-old little brother my phone and said, hey, here's creative mode, build something. This is the shit he would probably come up with. It is genuinely so crazy that there really isn't any proper interlocking Minecraft toys. And I get that that can be harder to develop because then you have to have a crazy kind of interlocking system and it ruins the surface of having smoother block pieces. Or if you were to go with the way the Kami CH's channel went for and using magnets in it, using magnets is a really good idea for these things. The problem would be the fact that that sounds very expensive to have not only plastic blocks, but have magnets inside of those blocks. I really do think that sounds a little bit too expensive, and I'm honestly not entirely sure of how execution would work on those. Would love to see it though. I would 100% pay that extra dollar for that. But if you are looking for that theme and you don't mind maybe using a bit of like rubber cement, I'd recommend using that, probably the best, than like Elmer's glue or something like that. I feel like it'd hold better. But if you don't have a problem with gluing these pieces together and you want a nice permanent Minecraft structure, you can get a lot out of these. I will not deny that at all. Unfortunately, I don't think Jazwares has the license to Minecraft anymore. They did have the Minecraft license for a while. Even after Mattel had got the license, they were releasing the survival mode figures. Jazwares was still releasing their smaller 2.5-inch figures because then they started releasing the Magma Cube, Steve with arrows in them, the shulker box, yada, yada, yada. But then Mattel, now they make the 3-inch figures now. They discontinue the survival mode line in favor of those. So maybe with that new addition of having those smaller Mattel figures, they're only about 3 inches, maybe that could really work in their favor for making a proper Minecraft playset. Or even more food for thought, if you want to have a Minecraft playset, do the same thing you did with the Minecraft survival mode playsets, but don't make shitty mountain pieces. We don't want natural terrain in these kinds of situations. We want big wall pieces. We want, you know, tiny pillars and stuff like that to make proper Minecraft structures. If you want to have a nature themed kind of pack, maybe a mine shaft playset, you can do that. But also offer the alternate alternative for people who want to get creative and build proper structures with their Minecraft stuff. This kind of went from a review to just a big rant about Minecraft, but simultaneously, it's more of a look back and a big discussion on Minecraft toys of the sort, so I guess it really is kind of fitting. If you do find these sets interesting, you do want to check them out for yourself, you of course can't buy them in stores anymore. They've been long since discontinued, but you can buy them secondhand off eBay. They typically go for between $10 to $25. I would not pay anything over $25. And if you really do want these, I'd highly recommend buying them in bulk. Like, there's a guy, I got all of this stuff for right around $10, plus the Redstone expansion set along with it and a couple doodads from that. It was all in one big bid, and I think that that is a solid deal for what I got out of it. So that's basically all I gotta say about these guys. If you wanna see updates on me building the Minecraft village, I might do another video depending on how well this video does and how well received it is. But I also am gonna be posting frequent updates on my Instagram. Right now I am kind of taking a break on it to focus on myself and to make more video and more content for you guys. So that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. The Troublesome Junction Holiday Extravaganza is just beginning. Can't wait for you guys to see what else I got cooking up here. And I will see you guys on the flip side.
Spimpton ass! Spimpton ass! Yes! Spimpton yes! Spimpton yes!